Not too bad. Especially when you know anyone is for that.
All right. Good to you.
Yeah. It's recording.
How's things? Hang on. All right.
It's here as usual here.
Hello.
Hi. How's things?
Good man.
So there's usual crack. First bit will be live content and the second bit will be embargoed written. So everyone kicks off.
Yeah. Hi Andy, how are you?
Great, thanks. You?
Good. Is that almost the strongest side you could put out?
It's the strongest side for this weekend because I suppose every side that you pick has to best fit our group, but it also has a saying what the opposition are about as well.
Bundyaki and Stuart McCloskey, was it quite tight there between the two?
No. I think Stu's earned the right to go again. The first game was a bit different, and the second game different again. And we're hoping to get a better performance against a different side in Australia, and we think that would suit Stu as well.
How do you think Australia will come into this game following last weekend?
They've a couple of things to hang the hats on, haven't they, in regards to motivation, etc. But in reality, 10 changes for them, and I suppose they get the leaders back in the room. So there's a different vibe there straight from the start, and those guys are the ones that took the field against Scotland and came so close to winning in Paris. And like we've said all week, we know how difficult that is. So I'm sure that they'll be using last week as motivation, and obviously putting that together with coming to the Aviva and taking our scalp, I'm sure that fires them up even more.
And finally, just for me, how would you grade the Autumn Nations with the series so far? And how important is it to finish off the year with a win?
Well, we want to win every game, so that's always important in our eyes, and we never shy away from that. We're 2 games in, so it's a decent performance and one that wasn't so. Saving our best till last, I suppose I'll grade it better after that.
Cheers, Andy.
Cheers, thanks.
And you were obviously disappointed with the performance against Fiji. What did you say to the players this week to try and improve on that?
I don't have to say much at all. They know. They know what we're after. They know what we want to achieve going into the game, and they know what we want to look at Sunday, Monday, coming back into camp. They know what we're going to review. So it's an honest procedure, and we work it out together. And that's what we are. We're an honest bunch. You keep being honest and throwing things out there that are hopefully going to improve the group, and then the trust grows and we get better together, so there's no point pushing anything under the carpet, otherwise we'll lose an opportunity.
How pleased are you to have Johnny back fit to lead the side?
Well, any side would be glad to have a player like Johnny's calibre back in the team, but there's a number of changes that would make the team feel a little bit different this week, so we're pleased about that.
And Jack Crowley, how do you expect him to go? Would you like to give him another run this weekend?
Well, he's on the bench, so the opportunity should be there for him. He's another week down the line as far as the experience of being in the group, and all the emotions going into a first cap is pretty daunting for anyone to handle, whether they admit it or not. So he's got that off his back now, and he's able to get down to how he's going to get better as a player and help run the side. So he's been great this week. I like his composure. I like his character, and obviously he's a young kid. Like Big Joe is making his debut this week. Is the young kids, they're going to make errors, but playing them in a good side will help them develop.
Just finally, there's been a lot of talk about the atmosphere in the Aviva on Saturday night, 8 o'clock kick-off against Australia. How do you expect it to be?
Well, 5 o'clock was pretty decent. You know, a couple more hours on top of that. Hope people are not falling to sleep by then. You know, but I hope the vibe around the city, knowing what's at stake. You know, the Australians are a great team to watch. You know, they play a great brand of rugby, and knowing what they're going to bring to the party on Saturday night is going to make for a brilliant spectacle.
And you mentioned Joe there. What's he done to earn this opportunity?
Yeah, he's grown in many areas. He's obviously got a point of difference, and it's not just his size. You know, it's his energy. It's his want to have big moments within the game. But he's growing in all areas, and it's been great to take him on tour, and then the emerging Ireland, and then. You know, he didn't get much of an opportunity with the A game, and then you know, he's been out of camp for a week, but he's earned the right to have a crack and show us what he's learned. Again, it's not going to be perfect for him, but the bits that we've been talking about over the last 6 months, we want to see improvement on that, and he's a doer, Joe. You know, he likes to get amongst it and get stuck in, so he won't shy away from the occasion. That's for sure. You know, so we're excited what he's going to bring off the bench.
And the starting back three, can you talk us through your decision making around Jimmy going to the left, Rob obviously dropping out, and Mac over to the right?
Yeah, but obviously Jimmy's got a left foot, which is pretty important in world rugby at this stage, and Hugo coming back in gives us what he always gives us, you know, some solidarity across the park there, and yeah, Mac being able to roam and do what he does best, you know, it gives us a nice balance across the back three, and you know, all three of those guys are the type of players who love to make a difference on the ball or off the ball, attack or defence. So we're excited to see how those three go.
Did you expect as much from Jimmy in this window? Obviously, he's come in now and played a number of different.
We did actually. You know, it's always opportunity. You know, injuries or form or what we're seeing in training that always shapes you in different ways in every camp. But his form, him being in camp a couple of times before, and just seeing how unflappable he is. You know, has all the hallmarks of a great composed international player, like, you know, and somebody who can do what he does in many different positions, and he doesn't flap around panicking about moving positions, etc. You know, he's just being himself wherever it's picked. So those things are pretty important in any international squad.
And Andy Farrell is someone who's missed out on the squad this weekend.
Yep.
Why is that?
Well, we obviously think that back three is the right thing for this game, but as well, you know, Rob's been into camp and he's had plenty of learnings over the last couple of years, you know, and there's a couple of opportunities that's been there for him, which has been going to be great for not just him but for everyone who's been involved in this autumn. And you know, the feedback that some of the lads who have gone home from camp has been great. It's been great for me to catch up with them and give them the feedback, etc. And whether you're playing in this game or not, you know, it's all about how you react and how you learn and how you keep getting better. So we'll watch this space with Rob and with others as well. And
just when you said that there that you give them feedback, so how does all that side of things work? So obviously they leave camp and you will keep in touch with them?
Well, I get their thoughts on how they think they've gone, and I give them my thoughts on how I think they've gone, and we know what we're looking at, don't we? You know, we know what we're assessing after each game with the play with the provinces, etc. And you know, it's a great window, this next window now before the Six Nations, because the big games for everyone to get their teeth stuck into.
And as a whole for the year, I know you've one game to go, you hopefully will finish it on a high. How are you looking back on it, I suppose, at the minute, in terms of...
Oh, don't do that to me. I'm not looking back on a season or a calendar year.
Successful?
Well, of course we're doing okay, but there's a big scalp blur for Australia at the weekend, and if we want to stay where we are, We've got to get used to people trying to chase us down hard, and we've got to improve our performances in that regard.
Thanks, Andy.
Thanks.
Andy, on a slightly different topic, a couple of weeks ago you were very complimentary about Conor Murray ahead of his 100th cap. This weekend your son's going to become only the third man to play 100 games for England. As a father, would you mind just giving us a few thoughts on how you feel about that?
Like every father would say, or mother would say, or sister and brother would say, is, you know, whatever I've said about Conor and Johnny over the last wee while, the same sentiments. You know, you know the sacrifice that's gone into a career, and anyone who's gets up to 100 caps, they've shown mental strength, physical strength and resilience in both of those as well, like, you know. So, and then you add the, obviously, being my son, it's pretty special for parents. We have a little ceremony going on for first caps and 100 caps, and we invite the families in, because I believe that for us, being involved in an Irish camp or an English camp or whatever it is, we're the fortunate ones to be around, you know, in our times. So I think it's even more so important for the families to be involved, you know, because they're the ones that's seen all the sacrifice and been through it all with them, you know. And I know for myself that when I'm coaching against Owen or working with him, it's like I've always said, it's just work. But when you're watching your son playing his 100th game or his first game, as a parent, that's even more daunting, and you're even more proud and even more nervous, etc. So we are, as parents, as a family, bursting with pride with what he's achieved. But having said that, I know that I see he's got his press done early in the week, so he can get back down to work, and I'm sure he'll think long and hard about what he's achieved on Sunday.
If you manage to speak to him, and do you have anything planned as a family to celebrate it?
Well, I'm busy on Saturday, so I can't go to the game. Hopefully I'll be able to get to the South Africa game straight away after our game. I've got to go on a recce to France regarding the World Cup, so I'll see him after the South Africa game, hopefully.
And just one final one. At what age did you realise that he was special in terms of being a rugby player?
I don't know. I mean, his strength is like every person who gets to these type of milestones. His strength is, he never thinks he's that type of player that you're talking about. You speak to Johnny, you speak to Conor, they tell you exactly the same. You know, they want to prove their self-worth, and as a teammate and as a player every single week, and that's why they stay right at the top through all the ups and downs.
Thank you.
Okay, folks, we'll switch into the embargo written section.
Cheers.